Wait. That was the number 10 moment? Oh, this is gonna be an interesting video. This is gonna be a very interesting video. What is going on, guys? It is JJ here, back with a new video. And today we're going to take a look, for the first time, at the top 10 moments from Fernando Alonso. Obviously, the Spanish maestro, the one of the best drivers in the history of Spain. I mean, that's obviously debatable. I don't know many other Spanish drivers, so I'm going to say he's the best. But anyway, winning 2 titles with Renault, I think it was what, 2005, 2006, has made Fernando Alonso one of the best, if not the best, Spanish drivers in F1 history, and continuing to produce, no matter which car he's been in. I feel like it is kind of like his staple, his mark. Really sort of cocky and arrogant in the sort of the right ways, the ways that a driver with his talent should be. So we're gonna take a look at the top 10 moments from Fernando Alonso and just sort of enjoy it, because I don't know enough about Fernando Alonso to really know how brilliant of a driver he is and how good of a career he's had. So it's going to be very, very nice, I think, to sort of see his best moments. Obviously, this being an F1 video from the F1 channel, there could be other moments that you guys like or that you guys think are better, or like one defining moment that shows his brilliance. Let me know those in the comments below. But yeah, let's get into the video. As well, guys, you can find the original video down in the description below.
180 miles an hour around the outside of the 130R corner. I've never seen anything like it.
This wasn't simply one of the gutsiest, seat-of-the-pants overtaking maneuvers in F1 history.
I was going to say, imagine his car just goes.
Most symbolic. Fernando Alonso, the rising star of Grand Prix racing, passing Michael Schumacher's Ferrari, whose gleaming championship crown he was about to claim, at Suzuka's most revered and feared corner. Passes like this, at 320 kilometers an hour around the outside, simply weren't supposed to happen at 130R asphalt.
Balls. I could never.
Or not. Special doesn't even begin to describe it.
It was much quick on the straight. He closed me the door in the inside, going to 130R. I was on the outside, flat out, and really risky, but as I said before, it was nothing to lose today.
Wait. That was the number 10 moment? Oh, this is going to be an interesting video. This is going to be a very interesting video.
Fernando Alonso's last years in Formula One were full of frustration and struggle against uncompetitive machinery.
Last year's in Formula, he's in Formula One currently.
And a driver who never gave up. The 2018 Azerbaijan Grand Prix began with the McLaren driver setting his sights on a rare points finish. But his hopes were crushed just a few seconds into the race when he was caught in a collision, punctured
we saw this in Drive to Survive.
Tires. Turn 15, they were down to the wheel rims.
Unbelievable. You take care in corner 1, corner 2, and they crash into you. Stupid.
The 36-year-old dragged his car back to the pits in an unbelievable exercise of tenacity and driving skill, narrowly avoiding running into the wall on entry, but suffering extensive damage in the process. After checking the car was structurally safe, the team sent Alonso back out with new tyres and front wing. He'd lost 20 points of downforce, equivalent to half a second a lap. But despite major damage to his car's floor, and thanks to a safety car bunching the field back up, he skillfully fought his way back through the field to finish an incredible 7th.
I did not realize he finished 7th.
Que he hecho en mucho tiempo, o la mejor carrera de mi vida.
To arrive at your home race as the reigning world champion will always be memorable. And the roaring grandstands worked their magic, because that afternoon in Barcelona, Spain's first Formula One world champion took the victory in dominant fashion, with a peerless lights-to-flag win to increase his championship lead over Michael Schumacher.
Yeah, fantastic. I finished in front of everybody here, in front of my people, my supporters. I think it was the best feeling so far, I think, in a Formula One car.
The win was Alonso's 12th consecutive finish, and he would give his fans much more to celebrate as he won his 2nd world championship at the end of the season.
With all the chance too.
Tension was high in the build-up to the 2010 Singapore Grand Prix. The championship lead at this point of the season could have been taken by any one of 5 drivers: Mark Webber, Lewis Hamilton, Jenson Button, Sebastian Vettel and Alonso.
Really?
The intensity of the fight
in the Ferrari
Alonso,
too. I love that he did end up going to Ferrari. I think that's so sick. Like, he fought against Ferrari for years with the Renault in that team. Then went to McLaren and had the what, Crashgate, and then, well, no, Crashgate was with a different team, wasn't it? But anyway, went to McLaren and then left, and now with Ferrari.
And Sebastian Vettel was never more obvious than at the start, with Alonso forcefully countering Vettel's getaway.
Alonso leads. Back comes Hamilton though, into the first corner.
Vettel had a slight pace advantage in his Red Bull,
He had
but
the
although he
pace
put
advantage.
Alonso under relentless pressure in the closing laps, the Ferrari driver's focus never faltered. The young German did his utmost to induce an error from Alonso, but the Spaniard used every inch of road to hold on and crossed the line to win by a margin of just 0.293 seconds. Still the closest finish in Singapore to date.
We did it. Grande, grande. Super guys, thank you very much. Siete i migliori ragazzi. Vai! Woo!
Alonso had won from pole, led every lap and set the fastest lap. His only Grand Chelem in Formula 1, and a 25th victory that put him level with legends Niki Lauda and Jim Clark.
25 victories,
Alonso arrived
Jesus.
in Hungary in 2003, already as F1's youngest pole sitter and podium finisher, but he would leave having recorded another milestone. Starting
Seeing him
from
that
pole
young is
once
insane.
again, the then 22-year-old raced into the lead, with Kimi Raikkonen doing his best to stay in touch. With 10 laps to go, Alonso asserted his dominance by lapping the reigning world champion Michael Schumacher. And as the checkered flag fell, he was 17 seconds clear.
And Fernando Alonso wins his first Grand Prix, and he becomes the youngest man ever to win a Formula One Grand Prix.
Eclipsing a record set by Troy
gonna
Rotman at
say.
Indianapolis in 1952 as the youngest winner of a round of the Formula One World Championship at the time.
So does that record still stand as him being the youngest F1 driver to win a Grand Prix? Because it would be so sick. But, 19 years later, he's still racing in F1, but for him to have that record and to keep it for the entirety of the time he's still driving in F1, and then like someone take it when he retires, like that would be so dope. But I don't know if anyone
The
beat that.
2007 European Grand Prix was a race riddled with spins, stranded cars, and heated disputes, and one Fernando Alonso excellently mastered. The race began and ended with rain falling, a heavy downpour forcing the race to be stopped early on after multiple crashes. Upon the restart, the race was a battle fought with Felipe Massa and Alonso, with the Brazilian holding the advantage. The Ferrari was faster than the McLaren in the drying conditions at the Nürburgring, but with 8 laps to go, the rain fell again, and Alonso began to reel him in. He was decisively quicker than Massa and tried to pass the Ferrari at every corner. Finally, on lap 56, he got around the outside, seizing the inside for the following
did, he
corner
touched
and
it too.
toughing it out as they banged wheels in a perfectly judged example of controlled aggression. He won, and his post-race quarrel with Massa was a byproduct of racing adrenaline. What we'd witnessed was Alonso's master.
Massa's pissed that he got around him.
We touched each other 2 times, and I apologized to him maybe because I was so stressed when I finished the race, because we nearly didn't finish the race, and now I try to enjoy the victory and forget everything.
You could tell he was just so pissed, just standing there. He's like, "I want to clock you." Like, I'm mad. I like
Fernando
Felipe Massa,
Alonso
though.
became well known for extracting more from the machines he drove than they should possibly have been able to offer. And that's exactly what he did at the 2012 Malaysian Grand Prix, at the wheels of a Ferrari F2012 that struggled to get into the final part of qualifying. A tropical storm loomed over the starting grid as the lights went out. Alonso climbed from 8th to 5th on the first lap.
Decent start from Lewis Hamilton. Michael Schumacher's getting swallowed up a bit there by Mark Webber. Hamilton.
Michael Schumacher was still in F1 in 2012.
Fernando Alonso's getting caught out and bogged down a bit.
With the rain intensifying, the safety car was soon out. The race restarted nearly an hour later, with drivers on mandated wet tyres. But by the time the green flag was waved, the track was ready for intermediates. Most made the right strategy choice and pitted immediately. Sauber's Sergio Perez and Alonso among them. Perez was having the race of his life and running first. But Alonso used his experience to overtake the Mexican and build up a 6-second lead. As the track dried, Perez charged up behind Alonso, whose tyres were now fading fast. But before the Sauber could attack, Alonso judged the conditions to perfection by coming in again for dry tyres and reopening a 5-second lead by pitting a lap before his rival. The Sauber was much quicker than the Ferrari, and Perez was taking a second per lap out of Alonso's lead. But the Mexican made the mistake Alonso was waiting for, running wide and allowing the Spaniard to build the gap back up again and seal a remarkable victory in a car which had no right to be on the top step of the podium. Alonso arrived at the 2005 San Marino Grand Prix as championship leader, having won 2 of the first 3 Grand Prix for Renault. However, Ferrari was still the favourites at Imola, although Schumacher was only starting 13th after a mistake in qualifying. For the race, Ferrari filled his car with more fuel than any of the other front runners, and he lapped at record speed for several laps longer to brilliantly charge into a podium position. By contrast, Alonso's car was wounded from the start, with his engine down on power. He'd been running second until Kimi Raikkonen retired on lap 9, gifting the lead to Alonso.
Kimi is maybe one of the most unlucky drivers in F1 history, it feels like.
Careful strategy, Alonso kept the lead into the late stages of the race. However, he was being hunted by the best of the best, and Schumacher was relentless, pressing Alonso at every corner, trying to force the young Spaniard into a mistake. But Alonso held his ground against the living legend, on his way to a famous victory. It was the changing of the guard, and the race which proved Alonso
the guy
was
crying
world champion material.
I like that
Alonso's
Schumacher did
second
pass the guard
victory
there.
on home soil didn't come as easy as the first, but was perhaps the finest example in Alonso's career of how his relentless pace and aggression could make the impossible possible. 5th on the grid, he was soon 3rd after one of his trademark lightning starts, performing 2 memorable passes around the outside of fellow world champions Kimi Raikkonen and Lewis Hamilton.
Round the outside, there goes Fernando Alonso and Lewis Hamilton wheel to wheel. It's Rosberg from Vettel, and now Alonso slots into 3rd place ahead of Lewis Hamilton, who's lost 2 places by the 4th turn and almost has Kimi Raikkonen all up his rear wing.
Ferrari's strategy that day was key, as they had opted to 4-stop once more than any other team was considering. In an era where the perceived wisdom was in tyre preservation, the Scuderia were turning things on their head by doing completely the opposite.
And just going balls to the wall with the changes.
Alonso would have to push like he'd never pushed before for the whole race to overcome the time lost in the extra stop. Having undercut Sebastian Vettel on lap 10, he passed Nico Rosberg for the lead as the grandstands embraced him in raptures. He went on to record an emotional 32nd career win in front of his adoring home fans.
He really does find a way to win in Spain. I don't get it. All of these Spain races, he like turns it up to a completely other gear. It's amazing. It's actually kind of amazing to see. It's
Nobody
super
could have imagined
dope.
it at the time. It would be his final Formula One victory,
Oh, wow.
and unquestionably one of his very best.
You feel the support from everybody. There is every single member of the team taking care of every detail, because we want to do well here in front of our fans, in front of so many people supporting Ferrari.
There's nothing like winning at home. But to do it starting from 11th position and systematically climbing your way up the grid, overtake after overtake, is the stuff of legend. Few would have predicted the result in the early stages as Vettel streaked away from the field from pole position. But in the midfield, Alonso was dominating Valencia's street circuit. He was up to 7th by lap 12, and 2 brutally quick laps before his own pit stop while the leaders in front made theirs promoted him to a virtual 4th behind Vettel, Grosjean and Hamilton. His outstanding performance on track was boosted by several incidents around him. Hamilton's faulty pit stop during the safety car period allowed Alonso to take 3rd place. On the restart and propelled by the cheering of his fans, he overtook Romain Grosjean for a 2nd place that immediately became the lead when Vettel retired due to an alternator failure. The ovation was now almost deafening.
So he really
It
had
was
to
Alonso's
bank on
29th
mechanical
victory, and
issues.
one that took him back into the championship lead.
In the emotional side, I think this is the best victory because emotions that I felt in the in-lap or in the podium, I think is nothing to compare.
Oh.
But most importantly, it was yet again the proof of an extraordinary talent that strengthened against adversity and has written a legacy of racing brilliance that will never be forgotten.
I actually really like this video. I really like Fernando Alonso's final day in F1. It's, I mean, that's one of those things where how much money did it take to bring him back? Because it's a little disappointing when you have like that final goodbye, like what Tom Brady did to the rest of the NFL, and then you just decide, screw it, I'm coming back because I know I can race at the top level. Maybe it was like the pandemic that did it, because I'm not sure if he raced in 2019, but either way, if there's been any more brilliant moments in Fernando Alonso's career, let me know them down in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and peace.